I was searching through real quick, off work sports, driving home a little bit, headed back. And the first thing that I see that we talked about when I discussed him in the NBA draft as a surefire first pick, but a dangerous one because of one thing. Even though he is the most explosive athlete we've seen in probably a couple decades, okay? The problem is the kid is huge. And there's always going to be talking points. People are making money off of these reviews and talking about players. But this particular hype up of an injury is not unfounded and one we got to discuss. Zion Williamson is expected to miss a couple weeks due to knee injury. Why I'm making a big deal of this? Because I know how coaches, trainers, when there's a surefire superstar on the team and they're trying to bring money to the table because they treat these athletes like animals. I understand you're trying to make money off of them, but they don't think long term. I always mention some of the different countries that think long term. China, even India, they have this long term plan and always stick to the plan no matter what. In America, it's short term, in my opinion. It is right here, right now. And with Zion Williamson and his knee injury, and the kid weighing 260 pounds, about 6'7", we got to start to really hone in on his weight and maybe take half the season off. I don't care about Rookie of the Year. We know what he can do. We've seen it in the preseason. We've seen it in some regular season games. Okay? The problem is the sustainability of him with that weight being able to continue to dominate. He looks heavy walking up the court. Okay, it just unfounded. That weight continuing to barrel down on the knees. It's one area of the body that you're not really able to muscle up. The knee is the knee. Okay, so no matter how big and strong he gets in the shins and the calves and all that good stuff, his knee is going to be his knee. And right now, I'm worried about his knee, okay? They have to really, really understand they're rushing him back, which they probably will do as usual, because you know how they talk, Oh, he's young, he'll recover. You know these stupid guys that don't give a crap, okay? You know how stupid they are. He's all right. There's one guy that Zion needs to call who didn't give a crap about what anybody had to say, who doctors said, he's fully healthy, he's able to return. Kawhi Leonard, please call this man up. Don't let these teams do what they're going to do and force him back. He could have some damage already. We don't know what the injury is, but I know the NBA. I know how owners, I think I know how owners think, and it's exactly like the definition of an owner. You work for me, no offense, I'm not saying you're my slave, but I'm saying you're my slave. Go out there and do the work, I'm paying you. You're my marketing star. I don't care about whatever little knee injury you got. You look like you're walking fine. He'll go in the layup line on his own with no one guarding him and get a dunk in and say, look, he looks like he's ready. Okay, I'm going in right now because I don't want to hurt one of the most promising superstars of the NBA. I don't want them to bring him back and have something catastrophic happen like an ACL injury, and we miss the opportunity to see the full foundation of a Zion Williamson. I'm also going to advocate that they load manage the kid, okay? He doesn't need to be playing 35, 40 minutes, okay? Let's get his weight in order. If you do bring him back, he starts, give him 18 to 22 minutes a game, and that's it. And stick to it no matter what, no matter how much he cries and says, I want to play, blah, 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 unless you're headed to the playoffs and everyone's injured and you're ready for a championship, because that's the only reason I would say risk it. And even then, that's kind of stupid. But I would say for this team, load management is going to be critical. He needs to get down to the 240 range, okay? I'm saying it, okay? Because he has to keep the girth because, again, he's a little bit too big to play the small forward position, okay? But he's perfect for the power forward. He's that hybrid forward, and he's doing well at it right now. He's able to jump over people. In order to maximize his total repertoire, I think 240 will allow him to still have the strength to move people around, rebound, and not feel overpowered against the big NBA players that he's playing against. Again, I don't like what I see from his body of work coming back from the summer. A little bit too muscular. I don't know if he can ever lose weight. I don't know if it's what he's eating. Needs definitely a dietitian with him. And again, needs some load management as far as no more 35, 40-minute games. Maybe sits down on some back-to-backs. Load manage. Probably a little tear in the knee. Everyone's had that. I've had that. It never goes away, right? Those knee things never go away, especially for run and jump athletes. It's just there. It's going to be there. But if you want him to play a good 6-7 years, that's my expectation. Reach up to about 32, 33 and be okay, right? He's going to lose some of the leaping ability, but maybe I guarantee he's going to gain a three-point shot. You need to load manage him. If you don't, he'll have an ACL. And then at this early in his career, probability is he'll have more injuries, and then we'll see a Derrick Rose type situation like everyone's talking about. Anyway, sad news in the basketball realm. You heard it here first. New Orleans Pelicans, they were in the hunt for the playoffs. I was going to do that review about them. I still think they are. I still think Zion comes back. However, there is big risk if they do not load manage the poor kid and don't force him to play, force him to dunk around. Maybe tell him to do some layups. He doesn't have to dunk every time. We know he can dunk, brother. Save it for the dunk contest, maybe 1 year if you play. But for the rest of the time, just use your leaping ability to get the rebounds and shoot over people and get some good layups in. I think they should also allow for folks to hang on the rims. That's another big avocation that helps some players, load management-wise. When they're dunking, they can hang on the rim so they can land easily on the rim instead of having that full, I'm talking about like turbo jet thrust and have to land down at 100-something miles per hour. That hang on the rim will allow folks to, again, weather the storm of the brutality that goes through your knees playing the sport of basketball or even football, any run and jump sport. All Four Sports sign off. A little bit of a long video, but it's heartfelt because we want to see Zion play. And we know how the coaches and the owners think. They really need to step back and look at the big picture. Don't rush this kid back. Don't get him in a situation where he's dealing with ACL injuries. All four Sports, I'm signing off. Peace.